He was the rosy-cheeked YouTube kid who turned Baby 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 and Yo into a billion-stream anthem, but stardom has grown sharp fangs. Today, whispers around Justin Bieber are darker than the Arctic sky he now records under. Friends describe late-night sobs, panicked phone calls, and a confession that he once felt so low he thought about offing himself. The pain, he said, was so consistent it felt endless. Yet, while worried fans beg him to slow down, Bieber has vanished to a remote Icelandic studio once used by Sigur Rós, chasing something no amount of money can buy: a clean, creative slate. Paparazzi drones can't reach the volcanic bluffs, but industry spies confirm he's cutting a mood-driven comeback record and testing songs in midnight glacier caves. But here's the kicker. Insiders say those same sessions were funded with borrowed cash. Just 3 years ago, he sold his entire back catalog for a quick $200 million, a move one accountant branded an act of financial triage. How does a man who once raked in a cool billion end up scrambling for liquidity? Some point to private jets, 8 luxury tour buses, and an entourage that treats charter yachts like Uber. Others blame an LA pastor whose church allegedly demands a 10% cut of every Bieber paycheck, firing staff who don't tithe. And then there's Hailey. In a single week, she quietly scrubbed the word therapy from an Instagram caption, sparking fresh divorce rumors and reminding the world that the Bieber's marriage is anything but a fairy tale. So buckle up. Over the next few minutes, we'll unpack the meteoric rise, the secret breakdowns, the money black hole, and the cult-like whispers circling pop's most complicated prince. And we'll ask the single question that could decide his legacy. Is this Iceland retreat a rebirth, or the last crack before everything shatters? Justin's origin story reads like a Silicon Valley myth. Scooter-wielding school kid uploads grainy covers on YouTube, catches the eye of talent scout Scooter Braun, and within months is duetting with Usher. By 16, he's headlining Madison Square Garden. By 18, he's worth over $100 million. In 2013, Forbes dubbed him the year's most powerful teen after Believe grossed $70 million in 12 weeks. But buried inside the confetti were red flags. Psychologists call it developmental whiplash. When childhood is swapped for private jets, the brain still wired for algebra is forced to navigate contracts, critics, and global adoration. One tour photographer recalls Bieber clutching a Rubik's Cube backstage while lawyers discussed 8-figure sponsorships beside him, a literal kid in the boardroom. Public meltdowns soon followed. In 2014, he egged a neighbor's house. In 2015, he was filmed screaming at paparazzi in Beverly Hills traffic. Each outburst fed a press cycle that mocked him as entitled, but insiders saw something different. An exhausted teenager burning through dopamine like jet fuel, trying to steady a life moving faster than his frontal cortex could mature. Between 2009 and 2016, he played 350 shows across 5 continents, averaging 3 cities a week when you count promo stops. Tour accountants celebrated, yet vocal cord specialists warned that such pace, layered with puberty, risked permanent damage. Bieber kept pushing, telling Complex he feared going home and feeling irrelevant. The boy who once hustled for uploads was now terrified the algorithm would forget him. And that pressure cooked in private, too. Scooter Braun became a surrogate father, but the blurred lines of business and family meant every teenage rebellion risked million-dollar consequences. One former bodyguard remembers a 3 a.m. panic attack in Perth. Bieber insisted on renting an entire amusement park after hours just to feel normal for one night. They did it, at the cost of $60 grand for cotton candy catharsis. Little wonder then that the Purpose era's clean-cut apology tour couldn't heal the underlying bruises. Behind the teary award show speeches, the superstar was medicating anxiety with what one friend politely calls a pharmacy smoothie. Pills to rev, pills to sleep, mixed with nightly joints as fat as a Sharpie. All of it set the stage for a far darker chapter, one where the buzz of sold-out arenas could no longer drown out the roar inside his own head. Long before he vanished to Iceland, Bieber had already been fighting a far colder landscape, the one inside his own head. The first public crack came in his 2020 YouTube doc-series Seasons, when the superstar stared straight into the lens and confessed there were nights he felt really suicidal, like, is this pain ever going to go away? That wasn't a one-off cry for help. 2 years earlier, in the middle of his Purpose World Tour, the then 23-year-old abruptly axed 14 sold-out dates. At the time, he mumbled something about needing to rest, but a later Vogue retrospective revealed the real reason: crippling depression that made hotel suites feel like padded cells. The pattern only deepened with age. In June 2024, fans woke to a 3 a.m. Instagram essay where Bieber admitted he'd spent most of his career feeling unworthy and like a fraud. The post ending with a plea for grace while I figure myself out. Within hours, the story vanished, but screenshots rocketed across Stan Twitter, fueling a fresh round of #pray for Bieber. Clinical psychologists call this imposter syndrome on jet fuel, a cocktail of hyper-success, online scrutiny, and delayed adolescence that rewires reward pathways until applause feels hollow and silence feels like doom. One expert we spoke to explained that child megastars often develop a reward void yo-yo, where the high of a platinum plaque is followed by a cavernous crash the moment the spotlight dims. Then came Ramsay Hunt syndrome. In summer 2022, Bieber posted a shaky selfie video, half his face frozen, announcing he was scrapping the remaining 81 dates of his Justice Tour to get some rest. The cancellation cost tens of millions, but insiders say it was his mental stamina, not his facial nerves, that finally snapped. When an insurance physical later cleared him for work, skeptics wondered whether the illness was only part of the story. By spring 2025, the whispers had grown louder. Paparazzi shots showed a visibly thinner Bieber outside a Beverly Hills clinic, clutching a therapy binder. His team stonewalled questions, insisting he was in the best place of his life. Fans weren't buying it. Threads on Reddit tallied every vanishing act, missed brand shoots, delayed single rollouts, and eerie silence on TikTok where he'd once bantered daily. But mental storms rarely travel alone. They ride shotgun with chemical ones, and those would soon explode into full view. No superstar coasts through 15 years of chart pressure without grabbing chemical crutches. Justin just admitted it louder than most. In a 2020 sit-down, he recalled waking up, popping pills and sparking a blunt before my feet hit the floor, a morning cocktail that sometimes added MDMA and shrooms for breakfast. The confession matched whispers from early crew members who say his tour bus fridge carried more orange bottles than Gatorade cans during the Purpose run. By 2022, the substances had new company: Ramsay Hunt syndrome. The rare shingles-triggered nerve attack froze half his face and detonated the money machine Justice Tour. 81 shows gone overnight. A $40 million advance suddenly clawed back, and a fan base left holding useless tickets. Bieber's shaky Instagram video, eye unblinking, nostril immobile, became an instant meme of pop vulnerability. But insiders later revealed an insurance physical quietly cleared him to perform, stoking debate over whether the paralysis or pure burnout really pulled the plug. Physical scars didn't calm the rumors. Coachella 2024 lit fresh speculation when phone footage captured Justin slumped over a barricade, glassy-eyed, while Haley danced a few feet away. Comment threads blamed everything from mushrooms to mega-strength THC vapes. An eyewitness insisted he looked totally normal, but the clip rocketed across TikTok anyway. A month later, paparazzi snaps showed a thinner Bieber with red eyes and deep circles, fuel for Pray for JB to trend all over again. His camp keeps swatting at the narrative. A rep flat-out denied hard drug chatter after TMZ readers spotted joints near baby Jack's playpen and accused dad of reckless parenting. But that word, hard, is slippery. To some, mushrooms are wellness tools. To others, they're a flashing danger sign. Either way, the optics are grim when the singer who once preached sobriety live streams yet another hazy backyard sesh. Meanwhile, the mental strain keeps punching through the PR wall. In April 2025, Bieber posted an expletive-laced video demanding stalker paparazzi get the H away, his voice cracking between fury and panic. Psychologists warn that constant surveillance can amplify substance cravings, turning weed into a nightly off switch and psychedelics into a temporary escape hatch. Add Ramsay Hunt's lingering nerve pain to the mix, and you have a body carrying double the load. Chronic facial twitching when he's tired, and what one tour medic calls cocktail-induced adrenal yo-yo, the buzz crash cycle that wrecks immune systems. Small wonder insiders claim every new recording session begins with a medical team on standby. Up next, the even messier territory: love, jealousy, and luxury jets. Because the same habits bleeding Bieber's health are seeping straight into the most scrutinized marriage in pop culture. Paparazzi flashbulbs still paint them as pop's golden couple, but those red carpet smiles mask a marriage forged in constant turbulence. Since their surprise courthouse wedding in 2018, every grocery run, prayer circle, and birthday dinner has been tracked like a royal watch, fueling a tabloid economy that lives off the question, are they really okay? The cracks first surfaced in 2021, when Hailey revealed on the In Good Faith podcast that she once rang her mother from a Manhattan hotel crying and swearing she didn't want to do this anymore. She'd been married barely a year, yet the pressure of healing Justin's unresolved trauma, plus his admitted playboy past, had already pushed her to the brink. Fan culture made healing harder. Every TikTok live floods with Jelena truthers chanting Selena forever, and airport handlers have reported crowds booing Hailey while chanting the ex-girlfriend's name. One branding consultant says the hostility keeps old wounds bleeding, turning ordinary spousal arguments into global talking points within minutes. Then came the therapy caption. On the 9th of June 2025, Hailey posted sun-splashed photos vowing she'd spend summer with lemon drop martinis and therapy. Hours later, the word therapy vanished, and divorce rumors ignited like dry brush. Page 6 and Yahoo noted the stealth edit, linking it to Justin's own cryptic outbursts about transactional relationships. Money magnified the tension. Multiple tour staffers tell TMZ investigators that Hailey allegedly refused to board a smaller charter, insisting on the same heavy jet Kylie has. I'm not taking a lesser plane. Upgrading the aircraft mid-tour ballooned costs, enraging road managers already scrambling to plug an 8-figure tour deficit. Justin's own posts sometimes pour kerosene on the narrative. In May 2025, he hijacked Hailey's first Vogue cover with a rambling caption about a past fight, then hurriedly rewrote it after fans accused him of overshadowing her big moment. One insider calls these social slip-ups mantrums, flashes of resentment that surface whenever finances, fandom, or faith hit a nerve. Yet eyewitnesses also describe pockets of genuine tenderness. At a Palm Springs festival this spring, Justin kept an arm around Hailey all night, kissing her forehead between songs while she shielded him from selfie mobs. The same scene-stealing cameras that catch their clashes sometimes capture a couple still very much in love, just learning, awkwardly and under Klieg lights, how to survive the storm they built together. At first glance, Justin's fortune looked indestructible. Tour grosses in 9 digits, perfume lines, and more YouTube views than there are people in Russia. But by late 2022, the cash pipeline had clogged so badly that one business manager on record called the situation financial triage. What went wrong? Follow the money trail and the story reads like a fiscal thriller with plot twists no accountant could invent. The tour that ate itself. When the Justice World Tour launched in February 2022, promoter AEG front-loaded a $40 million advance. 49 shows later, Ramsay Hunt and Raw Burnout forced Justin to yank the remaining 81 dates. AEG immediately hit him with a refund invoice, roughly $24 million still owed for unplayed arenas. Suddenly, the chart titan was staring at stadium-sized debt without the nightly merch bonanza to pay it back. Catalog on the auction block. That pressure explains the December 2022 shocker. Bieber sold every song he owned, nearly 300 tracks, for a measly $200 million to Hypnosis. Industry brokers urged him to wait until January for a friendlier tax rate, but TMZ's documentary claims he couldn't afford the 30-day delay. Insiders say he was on the verge of financial collapse. Fans gasped. How does a guy who's earned a reported $500 million need emergency cash? Golf on a friend's credit card. The answer surfaced in that same documentary. In 2022, Justin was so strapped he borrowed a buddy's credit card just to play a round of golf. If your weekend tea time goes on someone else's American Express, your liquid capital problem is real. 8 buses, 2 jets, 1 money pit. Spending habits didn't help. Sources cite 8 custom tour buses, including one gutted and rebuilt for $2 million, plus heavy private jet rules that banned smaller planes. Toss in cash-paid mega mansions, and you get a burn rate that devours catalog checks in months, not years. The audit that backfired. Trying to cut loose from Scooter Braun, Justin demanded a fresh audit. PricewaterhouseCoopers spent 6 months combing the books and delivered brutal news. Instead of being overcharged, Bieber actually owed Scooter more than $8 million. Legal stalemate followed. No payment, no settlement. And the number hangs over him like a neon IOU, collateral damage. Big debt fuels big fights. Road managers gripe that nightly crew payments lag. Haley reportedly clashes with accountants over jet upgrades. And friends warn the stress feeds Justin's late-night mantrums. One insider sums it up. When the checks bounce, everything else breaks. Marriage, friendships, even faith. Justin's Instagram devotionals make his faith look soothing, but the church behind that glow, Judah Smith's Seattle-born megachurch, Church Om, has triggered alarm bells loud enough to fracture Bieber's inner circle. Critics now claim the singer's spiritual safe haven doubles as a money siphon, steering both his friendships and his fortune. A costly gospel. In April 2023, a former staffer filed a class action suit accusing Church Om of forcing employees to fork over at least 10% of every paycheck. Lose the tithe, lose your job. Court papers say the mandatory generosity violated wage rebate laws and gave the church an unfair discount on labor. Boardrooms and Bibles. Judah's reach soon leapt from pews to profit. Sources tell TMZ the pastor landed a seat on the board of Drew House, Justin's streetwear brand, even though the label's creative director, longtime best friend Ryan Good, begged him not to. The result? Ryan walked, calling Church Om a cult, and cutting contact with the pop star he'd once styled and stood beside at the altar. The worst cult in history. Asked about those claims on stage last month, Judah laughed. If we're a cult, we're the worst cult ever. We meet once a month, guys. The quip got cheers, but did little to calm ex-members who swear they were sacked for skipping a tithe or questioned for dating outside church circles. When faith shapes finance. Former tour accountants whisper that the pastor's guidance now extends to big-ticket choices. Jets, real estate splurges, even high-stakes audits, because the ministry needs a money trail. One insider recalls Lou Taylor, Bieber's business manager and fellow Churcham devotee, telling Scooter Braun, "Justin can forgive you, but he can't move forward with you." Moments later, Justin reportedly cut ties with the mentor who discovered him. Isolation by revelation. Zoom out and the pattern looks stark. Scooter sidelined, Ryan ghosted, Haley standing guard, and Judah the lone, constant whispering counsel. Friends who speak up are labeled bad influences, then quietly pushed away, leaving a pop titan whose support network now funnels through a single sanctuary that always passes the collection plate. It took one audit to flip a 15-year bond on its head. Scooter Braun, the talent scout who plucked 13-year-old Justin off YouTube, lent his protege $24 million in 2022 to settle the canceled tour debt. In return, Bieber signed a note promising decade-long repayments. 2 checks cleared, then nothing. Suspecting Braun had overcollected commissions, Bieber ordered a fresh audit. But the independent bean counters at PricewaterhouseCoopers boomeranged a nasty surprise in April 2025. Justin didn't just break even, he actually owed Scooter $8.8 million more. Instead of cutting the check, Bieber's camp ran its own secret audit, refused to publish the figures, and leaked claims that Scooter had fleeced the kid since day one. Braun's side hit back, dropping the PwC paperwork into TMZ's lap and reminding the world that every royalty split had Justin's signature twice, once as a teenager, once in later renegotiations. Behind closed doors, friends say Justin feels like the golden goose who finally clocked the farmer's profits. Braun insists, "When I got richer, he got richer, check the math." Collateral damage spread fast. Industry partners paused brand negotiations until the management mess clears, and lawyers on both coasts now treat Bieber like a potential litigation magnet. The father figure narrative is ashes. In its place stands an ugly invoice and 2 teams sharpening spreadsheets for court. While lawyers brawl, the singer retreated 4,300 miles north to the windswept Flókay Studios in Iceland's Fliot Valley, a bunker-like compound famous for its no Wi-Fi, no distractions policy. Photog Rory Kramer posted glacier shots. Local bloggers spotted Bieber test-tracking vocals in a lava tube cave at midnight. Sources call the project pain pop, raw, down-tempo cuts built on field-recorded ice cracks and distant church bells. The commercial plan is even quieter. Insiders tip a 2026 mini-residency at the $2 billion MSG Sphere in Las Vegas, a cushy, no-travel cash machine modeled on Adele's playbook. The rumor began with a deux mois post and lit Stan Twitter with, "A Bieber Sphere run would eat." Whether it happens or not, venue execs confirm preliminary holds on spring weekends, hedging that even a half-filled schedule could gross $60+ million. Demand clearly still exists. Spotify's public counter shows Bieber averaging 80+ million monthly listeners. More than The Weeknd pulled in the year Blinding Lights broke records. Add a new album, limited Vegas dates, and premium merch drops, and the math points to a solvency by summer scenario. If the star can stay healthy and lawsuit-free long enough to cash the checks, Justin Drew Bieber stands at a fork sharper than any guitar pick he's ever gripped. One road leads back to arena spotlights, an Iceland-forged record, a Sphere residency, and headlines that read, "Bieber beats the odds." The other veers into lawsuit purgatory, mounting debts, and a marriage buckling under therapy caption edits and charter jet fights. What decides it? 3 leverage points. 1. Mind and body. Can he keep the pharmacy smoothie and Ramsey Hunt relapse at bay long enough to tour, even in one city? 2. Money mastery. Will he swallow pride, settle the $8 million Braun invoice, and plug the spending leaks before the next catalog sale becomes inevitable? 3rd circle of trust. Does he widen the inner ring beyond a single pastor, or keep letting faith and finance braid themselves into the same rope? 4. Fans still stream him by the tens of millions, Vegas executives still pencil his name above the Sphere, and pop culture still hangs on every paparazzi flash. The question, then, isn't whether the world will give Justin Bieber another chance. It's whether he'll take it without burning the stage on his way out. So tell us in the comments, is Iceland the start of a rebirth or the last calm before the ultimate collapse? The story isn't finished, and neither, it seems, is Justin Bieber.